So now with Pluto transformation coming in there, it's a powerful card. It really does say what it is. It's transformation. So this is affecting how you are coming across to others. You may be coming across as being quite intense or maybe even secretive, and sort of having sort of quite a lot of personal power or sort of deep power. You may also just be making transformational changes in all areas of your life, or just really going within to do some deep self-analysis. This card also brings in renewal or regeneration. So whether this is something to do with a physical issue or renewal, perhaps you've had a sticky period with the health issues, and now you're getting over that and you're starting to regenerate, or maybe you've had a little bit of an injury or something, but it's all about renewal and regeneration. Sexuality comes up very strongly with this as well. So, you could be coming across as that, or really using, harnessing that in a relationship at this time. Pluto also rules the underworld, so something could also very well be coming to the surface for you at this time. So whether this is in your environment, or whether it's out of your personal, how you feel. So it's your feelings, it's your desires, it's your personal power, or it could even be a secret. Something is coming up, into the light. And so this could be very personal, or it could be, to do with issues that you're facing in your current life at this time. So it also kind of brings in beginnings and endings. So something will end and something will begin. You may feel a bit uneasy at this time over that. There could also be a few power struggles going on because this is Pluto. Something from the past may not turn out to be what you thought, and it could be a little bit upsetting as well. So you thought it was one way, and it actually turns out not to be like that at all. That can happen. Also, please watch your finances, and also issues to do with tax. Any of those sorts of things can really affect you at this time. So now, also with this card, because it's appearing in your first house, your seventh house, which is the opposite of the first, the seventh house deals with all your relationships. So how you are in yourself and what you're projecting outwards is ultimately going to directly affect your relationships as well. So what's going on under the surface in you is also going to come out, but it's also going to affect any close personal relationships as well. In the second house, we have Black Moon Lilith, mystery. So the second house is everything to do with your money, your income coming in. It's also to do with all your possessions, what you own. It also rules your self-worth and your sense of security. It's also your value systems, and property, real estate, anything like that comes into this second house. So with this card coming in, it can manifest in different ways, but it could be that something's not clear to you at this time. So you might just have to wait a bit for it to resolve itself, or for something to sort of occur. As I said, things may be coming to the surface as well, and it does kind of appear elsewhere in your chart, where perhaps you may just need to wait until the timing is right in order to do certain things. So it's you may also be waiting for something to happen. You may also be sensing undercurrents around you as well, or just sensing something's coming, but you can't quite see what it is or sense what it is 100%. The other side of this is also the darker feminine, which is command and strength. The darker feminine is almost like the witch side of us. But it's all those strong, deep emotions, which can also turn negative as well. And that becomes, emotions to do with anger and bitterness, envy, even obsession as well. Revenge comes in there as well. But it could also just be that, you may just have to command, your inner strength, not give in. It can also, indicate rebellion or, feeling alone. So it's sort of secret emotions, that sort of inner strength, but it really does bring in the darker feminine. So whether this is to do with, perhaps something has occurred with your, money coming in and you're just not happy about it, or you're not sure what's going on, or it could even be that you may just have to really stand in your strength over something. But don't forget, the second house also rules self-worth and your value systems as well. So you could be having a challenge of some sort in that area. Then in the third house, we have fire element, desire. Third house is everything to do with communication. It's also to do with, what you're learning at this time. It covers all kinds of communication. So that's verbal, written, even body language. It also covers your neighbors, and it covers short journeys, and it covers documents and contracts of all kinds. So it's self-expression in all these different forms as well. So with fire element, desire, this is about, as I said, how you express yourself. And this could be to others around you, but it's, it could be family members. It could be siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, those sorts of relatives. Or it could be, the greater public, other people that are around you at this time. So it's how you communicate, how you go about that. And it's also about, this card brings in determination. It brings in desire. So, it's what you want. And it's about being assertive about what you want. But it also, you need to be honest as well with yourself and with others. You may also be acquiring a new perspective of some kind on perhaps how you need to do things going forward. Perhaps it's some kind of realization or a wake-up call. It's also about having courage to initiate certain things in any one of those areas. You could be experiencing sudden changes or spontaneous change, or you could be experiencing a new start of some sort. If you're learning something, you could be changing that and going in a different direction altogether. But it could be a very quick action as well. So one day you're doing one thing and the next day you've got to change it. It's also about having daring as well. So if you're wanting to change the way you communicate, or you're busy with some kind of contract, or, you may, how you go about it may undergo some kind of change, or you may just realize something really important to do with that. This third house also covers short trips. So you may come to an understanding about something, or something may change at the last minute, or you could just really have start something completely new and go off to a different place altogether, and it brings in some kind of form of learning, or you get some kind of realization while you're away. But these are like short trips. No, it's not a long journey. It's sort of in your local area as well. Then in your fourth house, you have Sagittarius IC. So your fourth house is everything to do with your home, your physical home. It's also your the energies and emotions and things going on in your home. It's also your relationship to your roots, your foundation, your family tree. Where you came from, your ethnic identity, your ancestors, that kind of thing. It all comes in to your fourth house. But it really is the foundation of your life, but it's also your actual physical home, and the energies going on in your home. So with Sagittarius IC coming in, you may just be feeling really restless at this time, desiring more freedom, however that applies for you. And you may just want to, or you may need to at this time, change your routines. Maybe you're just so bogged down in your same old routine that you really are just tired of it now, and you need to change things up, or you need to get rid of them altogether for a period, just to give yourself some breathing space. Because Sagittarians are restless. They love to explore. They like being outdoors. They enjoy freedom, a lot of freedom. So you may be requiring that at this time in your home environment. It's out of the ordinary. If you're changing your space, it's a very creative energy, but it's you're going to want to make it larger than life. You may also need to create some sort of outdoor space for yourself. You may also be expanding in your home in some way. Maybe you're making additions, or you're changing the size of your home, but you're expanding your environment. If you're wanting to change the colors in your home, it could be you're bringing in sort of the blues and the violet colors. It could just be a simple paint change. It could also be that you have someone in your home who is inspiring big ideas in you. They're inspiring perhaps travel ideas, or they're just larger than life. They're very social and very outgoing. So you may have somebody like that in your home which is going to, inspire you in different ways. You could also be, when it comes to your roots and your foundation and your ethnic identity and so on, you could also be experiencing religious or a philosophical approach to that. Perhaps you're putting to bed old issues that have kind of dogged you, or you're looking at things now differently. But it's almost like it's got religious or possibly philosophical overtones to it as well. Then in the fifth house, we have South Node, life's debts. So this is a card which is about karmic issues, but it's also about old baggage that needs to be dropped or dealt with. So now, in your fifth house, this is the house of children, your children or somebody else's children, children that you're associated with. It is also the house of creativity in all forms, which is not necessarily artistic. Can be any form of creativity, whether it's handwork or how you speak or how you dress or how you conduct yourself. The work that you do, it could be creative. There's lots of ways this can come in. It's also the house of love affairs. So this could be a love affair that you're grappling with at this time and you're dealing with. It could also be that the fifth house is also to do with all forms of recreational activity. So having fun, going out, socializing in those sort of recreational activities. But with this card coming in, it's quite a strong card. So this is bringing up karmic issues. These are things that you need to deal with now. You need to leave the past behind and in order to move forward. It's very necessary growth at this time. So growth out of what was into what must be. So if there's something finished or something unresolved in your life, you need to deal with that. It can bring in endings and beginnings of all kinds. And it could be really quite a strong ending and a fresh new start. And it will feel hard in the beginning, but ultimately it's putting you on the road, a better road, a road to your future. You may, if you're in a comfort zone or a rut, you need to get out of it, because you can't deal with this life's mission. You can't get on to bring out the very best, the highest potential of yourself, or even of it could be your children that are facing this as well. So they could be going through all these things. In order to reach your highest potential, or for your children to reach your highest potential, or for your love affair to reach its highest potential, you have to let go of the past. You have to close the doors, finish things, sort out unresolved issues, and move forward. And it's also about preparing for the future. So all of those things must be tidied away. You may be facing blocks and obstacles, and if that is the case, then that is telling you that it's not the right path for you. You need to actually, if you can't resolve it, or you're going to have to let it go. And it's also about making new contacts which are going to carry you forward into your future. So it's all about letting go of the past, closing the doors on that, so that you are preparing for a new future. And it can come up in any one of those areas of the fifth house. Then in the sixth house, which is this is your house of work, your workplace, your work colleagues. It's also your house of daily routines. It's also the house of health and diet, and it's the house of pets. So now, with air element communicating coming in, it's exactly what it says. But this is also, when it's to do with work, or it's also about mastering your craft, whatever it is that you do, in your daily life. So now with the air element communicating coming in, it's exactly that. The air element is about communication in all forms. But it's also about thinking. So, you're going to need to think things through. about what you want to do in any one of those areas. You need to apply logical thought. You're going to have to be objective. It's also about gaining clear sight, seeing things clearly. You're also going to need to put into words what you want. Your words and the way you think and the words that you use are going to be very, very important at this time in that area of your life. You're going to need to be honest as well, honest with yourself and honest with others. This card is also the card of manifestation. So what you think and what you say is going to manifest for you. So ensure that your thoughts are positive, that what you say is positive, and you only focus on what you want, what you're trying to bring into your life, and not on lack, and not on difficulty, and not on troubles. You want to bring in the positive things in your life, and you can only do that by focusing on the best parts of what you want to bring in. It's also you may be sort of dealing with learning institutions, whether this is science or technology, that may also come in. Air travel may come in to do with your work as well. When it comes to your health and diet, this is all about the brain and the eyes and your voice as well. So you could be struggling with a bit of overthinking, so it's like headaches and eye strain, things like that. You may also lose your voice as well. And that is a time then to go inward and reflect on what it is that you actually need to say. So all of those issues may come up for you at this time. In the 7th house, you have part of fortune increase. It's a lovely card. So this is coming in for you in your house of relationships. This is close personal one-on-one relationships, and it's also so that can be a love relationship, or it could be a business partnership, or a relationship with someone else in your environment that you have a close personal one-on-one relationship with. So now part of fortune increase. So this is, as I said, your first house was all about transformation. And a lot of deep sort of emotions and transformation going on there, and that's going to affect this card. So I feel if you input what we discussed in the first house, it will bring about this in your house of relationships as well. So, but if this is to do, this card brings in destiny and fate in your relationship. So what this means is that the person that you are in this relationship with, you will help each other reach greater heights and overcome challenges. So it's your highest potential. So the two of you have agreed to do this, to be in this relationship, to bring about those goals that you want. It would have been very difficult for you to do it on your own, but joined together, you're going to help each other. It's the reason you are together. All right. So this card also means the stirring of the waters to release hidden talents and abilities. So you could easily do that for each other. It's also about healing difficult issues or conflicts, finding balance. But you've got to work together with this person in this relationship to harness the very best benefits for that. But it's a very beneficial card, and it really can really propel you to greater heights in your relationship. Then in the 8th house, we have Virgo, I analyze. The 8th house is to do with your big finance. So this is accounting, banking, insurances, investments, taxes, and legacies, inheritances, anything like that. It's also dealing with other people's resources or money. So if you're in a profession where you deal with that. It's also the house of sexuality. It's the house of personal power, and it's also the house of beginnings or endings and beginnings. So a very powerful house. So some things may die off in this house and regenerate from that. Regeneration came up before. But in any case, what you need to do with Virgo, I analyze in this house, is what this is asking you to do is to get organized. This house also covers the merging of your emotional and material resources in a relationship. So this is a love partnership or a business partnership. It's the merging of your resources, emotional and material. So you need to get organized. Whatever it is you're going to do, whatever you're going to bring about in any one of those areas, whether it's your finances or however you want to do this, it must be useful. It's got to be useful. Things must serve a purpose. You're going to have to streamline how things are going to be done, or how you're going to merge, or what you're doing with your finances. You need to get rid of or release what is not working for you. So you need to assess the details. You've got to analyze the results, go through the details, analyze the results, and figure out what is working, what is not working, and apply critical thinking into what it is that you want to do. You're going to have to address problems as well. And you need to be reliable in what you're doing. So if you're dealing with other people's money, you need to be reliable in what you're doing, and you need to be able to bring up the figures and the spreadsheets, and actually have control of the facts and the figures. With this as well, Virgo can bring in sort of criticism, whether you're being critical or someone is being critical of you. It can also bring in worries. Worry you perhaps worrying about things, overthinking, nitpicking is the other side of this. So you need to aim for a balance where, yes, you do need to get organized and streamline and get control of the facts and figures, but not to the point where you're just annoying everybody around you and obsessing about detail. Okay, there is a fine line there. There's a balance to be had.